Hey, by the way, tonight's game, New York wins that outright.
You know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the Etoft21sports Show for November 11th. How is everyone doing? My name is Erik. I'm the man behind Etoft21sports. Absolutely loaded episode for you today. My boy Sterling from SilverStarSports is this week's special guest. We are going to look back at week 10 plus share our week 11 bets. Before we get all that, I'd like to say thank you to the sponsor of the show, PropX. Guys, if you're not using PropX, go to the App Store, download the PropX app, use promo code ETOFT21. That way they know old Uncle Rico sent you. Also, before we get started, I would like to give a shout out to all the veterans. Thank you for your service, and a shout out to my favorite veteran, my old man, 79 today. Happy birthday, Dad. Appreciate all the support. Now, we're not here to talk about my old man. We're not here to talk about other stuff. We're here to talk a little betting. But before we get all that, we need to see what our boy Gino has for our horse racing bet of the day.
Best bet coming up for this week is going to be at Churchill Downs on Saturday. It's called Claiming Crown Day, which is a really cool day. They have the claiming horses run for big money. But before that all happens, earlier in the card, it's the Grade 3 Chaluki Stakes. And I think there are going to be a few horses that take some money. Shred the Gnar, One Magic Filly, and Ragtime. All three of them, money will be spread out. There's not that much early speed in here, and One Magic Filly has the ability to sit close, but she can also pass. I just think she's perfectly set up for this particular race. She got really good last year. She tailed off form a little bit, but she bounced back nicely with a win most recently. I think she's going to sit a great trip in here, and with money being spread out, she'll probably be the second choice, I think, in this race behind Ragtime. So let's go to One Magic Filly, race number 3 on Saturday at Churchill Downs. Head to drf.com for everything you need when you're playing the races. Good luck.
Make sure to give my boy Gino a follow at It's Me Gino B. Now, let's welcome this week's special guest, my boy from Cashville, the guy who is the first guest ever on the show, the guy who is Cam Ward's #1 fan, my boy Sterling from SilverStarSports. Sterling, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. And also, it's a great time. Great time. We got NFL, got NBA, NHL. Good time to be a sports fan. We got some action going on right now with Akron. It's a good time to be on.
I'm telling you, dude. Fucking Akron, man. Like, and I'll tell you what, there's certain teams that have such a horseshoe, and fucking Akron is one of them, dude. I mean, they have such a, not Akron, Ohio is a horseshoe. I mean, I think Ohio is brutal. I mean, I'm sitting on Western Michigan just to win. And I have Akron over 4.5 wins, and they have Kent State and Bowling Green left. So yeah, that's how I'm grinding. That's how I'm grinding.
I don't know if that one's cashing for you.
And also to show my true level, are you ready for this bet I have today?
What's that?
I did Ace Bailey over 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So that's already hit. And I did Ace Bailey like a plus 1180 to have a double-double. I need 7 more rebounds. Because you know that dude's not passing the ball.
He's not. Yeah, he's not swinging the rock.
You know that's not passing the ball. All right, we got some questions in the comments before we jump right into it. Our boy Sports Facts, yeah, dude. You know what? Sterling and I have not talked in a little bit. I was killing stories about what's going on in my life. My bad. C Spear 22, are the Seahawks an NFC contender? What do you think, my friend?
I think they are. I think also is a great lead into one of my key takeaways is there's a lot of new kids on the block. The Seahawks look absolutely legit. It's one of the teams that I was completely wrong about in the offseason. I saw them sign Cooper Cup, and I didn't know how that was going to work with JSN and Cooper Cup. I know JSN normally likes to work from the slot. Cooper Cup does a lot of his damage from the slot, but they are cooking up some great plays in Seattle. The defense is absolutely humming. The way they're using Nick Emmanwori is great on the defensive side of the ball. So they're a complete team. And if you just took and looked at each team, just a blind resume, and you looked at how the Seahawks have performed this year, you'd absolutely say they're a contender. And I think with how the rest of the NFC is playing out, the Packers haven't looked too good. The Eagles are very hit or miss. I think the Seahawks are a true contender this year.
How can I word this? I hate what they're doing with their run game. I fucking hate what they're doing with their run game. You look at every statistical category, and Kenneth Walker is better.
Yeah, as a Kenneth Walker
understand
supporter,
this
it hurts.
fucking obsession with Zach Charbonnet, and I really feel like that really frustrates me. And at the end of the day, they have Sam Darnold. Okay, I know my boy TC is watching. I love TC to death, but I just question Sam Darnold. And like them not using the run game accordingly, I think eventually is going to be their downfall. Defense have been lights out. Defense travels. It's been lights out. Sports Facts losing to the Rams on Sunday.
Game of the week. Game of the week.
Thoughts on Bills blowout? Okay. So what did you think of that game last week?
Absolutely unexpected. It felt like the Dolphins were just going to roll over and just let the Bills have it, but absolutely not. The beginning of the game started off super rocky with that delay of game and then the false start penalty. And it was like, all right, the Dolphins haven't learned a thing. And also, too, I thought it was a great time for the Bills to be able to cement themselves like as the top dogs in the AFC and come out and just blow the Dolphins out the water. They did the exact opposite. So now there's a ton of questions circling around the Bills. Really, really weird game. I wouldn't panic too much if I'm a Bills fan, but still, like, you got to take advantage and just crush the Dolphins.
Hey, buddy, I had that +9.5, and I had
You were on it.
The over with my boy Mr. Waddle. So I was looking pretty good. Did you see that they called about Waddle, and they were willing to give a first-round pick for this year's draft, but next year's draft is so stockpiled that the Dolphins wanted it for 2027 draft, and the Bills are like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
And he needs a wide receiver. I mean, like, I love Shakir, but Shakir's not a number one.
Nah, neither. Keon Coleman hasn't looked that good either. I know he caught a touchdown pretty recently, but yeah.
This one breaks my heart. Kent State Forest Sporting. So let's jump right into it. Let's jump into some takeaways, my friend. We each have one takeaway. What is your takeaway from the previous week, my friend? You kind of hinted at it earlier.
Yeah, so one of my takeaways is the MVP race. It starts with Jonathan Taylor. I know the past couple of years, the MVP award's basically been a QB award, but what Jonathan Taylor's doing, we haven't seen this since Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson. He's averaging, 6 yards a carry. He's got 15 touchdowns this year. He just went off for 244 yards, another 3 tutties last week, putting the team on his back. I think, like, what more could he do to not be the MVP, right? Like, he's doing everything possible to carry the Colts to victory. He's number one. He's leading for me. Matthew Stafford's had a super underrated year. I think he's flying under the radar. He plays in a lot of those West Coast games. Some people might not be tuning in as much. He's got 25 touchdowns and 2 picks this year.
Yeah.
And the Rams run game, they've struggled in short yardage situations. Kyron's been very up and down this year. So has Blake Corum. He's done a really good job. And you think about it, even with Puka being in and out of the lineup because of his injuries, Stafford's played under the radar and he's played amazing. And then finally, my number 3 choice for MVP right now is Drake May. It reminds me very similar of last year with Jaden Daniels, where Jaden Daniels was just absolutely cooking early on in the year. And Drake May is doing the exact same thing. He's elevated that receiving core, getting the most out of Demario Douglas. Stephon Diggs has looked like a great addition. Hunter Henry's taken up a level. I think Drake May is actually in the MVP conversation right now. Those are my top 3.
Okay. All right. My takeaway. I have no clue what the Falcons are doing with Bijan Robinson. Like literally no clue. When you take a step back and let's just go look at the league as a whole, the two best running backs right now are who? For me, it's Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson. Robinson should be the centerpiece of the Falcons offense, not just in the run game, but as the piece that opens up stuff for Drake London, Kyle Pitts in the passing game. Look at that game against the Colts. It was a huge one for Atlanta, as now they dropped to 3-6 on the year. In that spot, Robinson had 17 carries, 84 yards, averaging 4.9 yards a carry. Jonathan Taylor had 32 yards for 32 carries for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns. In a must-win situation, you've got to feed your best player. And let's be honest, Zach Robinson, the OC, just refused to do it. And the funny thing is when you look at the Falcons schedule, they have the third easiest schedule in the league. They have games against the Panthers, Cards, Jets, 2 against the Saints, and then games against the Bucks, Seahawks, and Rams. That is a total doable schedule if they would actually lean on their strengths. But if you're not going to give the ball to Bijan, I don't understand what you're doing. And when you kind of step back and look at their team, they have 2 great safeties. A.J. Terrell is a legit shutdown corner. You have a number 1 wideout in Drake May. You have a tight end in Kyle Pitts that can create mismatches. You have a pass rush now. You have Bijan Robinson, an elite running back. But you don't know how to use any of it. I mean, and think about this, dude. When they scored that goal-ahead touchdown in the 4th quarter, do you know where Bijan Robinson was? He was on the sideline. Let that sink in. Your best player isn't even on the field in that moment of the game. And I mean, when I look back at it right now, to me, that tells me everything I need to know about the Atlanta Falcons. This is the same team that beat the Bills. Now, granted, the Bills have some issues, but they should be better than they are. And they're not. And to me, that starts with their OC. Now, look, I don't know. I like Raheem Mostert. I think he's doing a good job defensively. I think offensively, though, he needs to realize this isn't working. And because this isn't working, this is what's going to cost him his job. And this will be the 2nd time he's been fired as an NFL coach. That usually means you're not going to get a 3rd time, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So I really feel I feel the Falcons are blowing it, and they are a team that should be better.
Before we move off on them, thoughts on Penix?
First of all, it's fucking freezing here. Like, look, dude, it is freezing here. We had a winter storm warning on Monday, man. And it's like 32 here. You know what? I didn't turn on my heat. It's cold as shit in here. You know, I was gone all day. Cold as shit in here. I have the heat cranked up now. I'll probably take it off in a little bit. But go ahead. I'm sorry, my friend.
Nah, you're all good. Good question too, Sports Facts. I was going to ask the same thing. Michael Penix, thoughts on him? I think he's the guy. Early thoughts.
No, because you take away that last year in Washington, he's never made it through a whole season without being hurt. That's number 1. Number 2, he's left-handed. Now, look, I don't mean to be a hater. It's very hard for a left-handed quarterback to be successful in the league. Why? Because the tackle positions have to switch and the ball spins differently. There's so many right-handed people that have played quarterback. The majority of these guys that are wide receivers are used to having right-handed people throw them the ball. The ball just spins differently with a left-handed quarterback. And he's really not, with all his knee operations, he's not that mobile. He's really not that mobile. And part of me feels when they had that quote unquote soft benching, if Cousins would have played better, I think Cousins would still be starting right now. I mean, that's just kind of my 2 cents. What do you think of him?
I haven't seen enough. He's super inconsistent. The pocket presence isn't there. Doesn't have the mobility. Like, he's still young. I'm not completely saying the jury's out right now, but I think he's a big part of why the Falcons have been overall underwhelming this year.
Yeah. I don't know. When you look at the talent they have, they should be better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Another big thing that happened in the NFL about my team, the Lions. Campbell took over play calling. My big thing, and I mentioned it during the NFC North preview, I didn't trust Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton was going to put play calling more on Jared Goff in terms of calling stuff at the line, and that's why he got kicked out of Los Angeles, because Goff didn't like McVay didn't like what Goff was doing at the line. Now, what Ben Johnson did was like, dude, you're doing A. That's it. This is what you're doing. You're doing it. Morton was letting Goff call some stuff. So it was that offensive line had some injuries. They lost Frank the Tank and Zetter. So they lost two-fifths of their best offensive line in the league. So that and the OC change really played into it. And when you look at it, since October 1st, were the second worst rushing team in the league. So the offense really wasn't working. And Campbell did it simple. He was like, look, dude, we're going to Gibbs, St. Brown, and Jameis Williamson. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. Those are the three, and a little Laporta sprinkled in. That's who's touching the ball, guys. That's it. And you know what? It was great, dude. And, I don't think long-term he's the solution. It wouldn't surprise me if the Lions hired Brian DeBull as a special assistant. You know what I mean? Like they do one of those things. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a move that had to be done. So kudos to him for doing it. Let's jump right into it, man. Let's jump right into some bets. But before we go into our bets, we need to take a gander back at how we did last week. Disappointing 3-3 last week, with Reed hitting the Patriots plus 2.5, the Ravens minus 4.5, but losing the Cards plus 6.5. Old Uncle Rico hit the Saints plus 5.5, lost the Broncos minus 9, and the Steelers plus 3. For the show, we are 36-24 in our bets. Not too bad. 36-24, respectable.
Yeah.
Respectable.
Still winning money.
Look, dude, I'm not going to lie. I was very disappointed in myself last week. I didn't know what to do. I took the Broncos. I have no idea what the fuck that was, that game, dude. All the trends in the world said after a team has played an overtime game on a quick turnaround on a Thursday was to fade them. And I faded them. And I'll tell you what, dude, Broncos sucked. And also, you were in the guillotine league I did. My guillotine selection came down to either Dart or Bo Nix. And in my little system I have, and I had Nix rated higher, I went with Bo Nix. If I would have just went with Dart, I wouldn't have got chopped.
Oh, you got chopped too?
I got chopped, dude. I got chopped. And I'll tell you what, I was pissed because the week before I had the most fab budget of anybody. It came down to, do I go with Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson, or Jahmyr Gibbs? So the guy last week who got chopped he had Gibbs, Robinson, and JJ, and he got chopped.
And he got chopped. Okay.
So like for me, I had Jamar Chase on bye. I went all in on Jefferson, and it was just a clusterfuck. Like Kincaid got hurt. Justin Jefferson dropped that touchdown pass. I played the Browns defense. They gave up 16 special teams points. You know what I mean? Like it was just a clusterfuck of that. And then I didn't start Dart. So is what it is, man. But special fuck you to the Denver Broncos, though. Special fuck you to the Denver Broncos. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into our bets. I know my boy Stan, who's a loyal watcher of the show, is going to love this bet from you, my friend.
Yeah, 49ers money line. Yep. They're playing the Cardinals this week in Arizona. They've got a 4-2 road record this year. The Cardinals have a 1-3 home record this year. State Farm Stadium, not the most intimidating place to play, not the greatest atmosphere. If we're talking about the two coaching staffs, the 49ers clearly have a better coaching staff with Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh. Also, too, all the talk around Kyler Murray's benching, right? they said Kyler Murray is benched, and then also reports came out, oh no, wait, he's still hurt. I just think that adds a lot of confusion around the team. They've also lost a lot of games recently, a lot of close games recently. And so if games are going to be close, because this is probably going to be a close one, because it's a divisional game, I'm taking the team that has better coaching. I'm having 49ers money line. Also, Cardinals, they're 1-4 in their last 5 games. They're already 3 games back from third place in the division. I don't think they're playing for too much this year. I think 49ers money line is a safe bet there.
Do you think Kyler Murray is a quarterback next year?
No, I don't. I think not in Arizona, at least. He's a starting quarterback somewhere, just not in Arizona.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback?
No, I think those two are going to be big dominoes in the quarterback carousel this year. I'm curious to see where they go. I think Liam Cohen also wants his own guy that he can mold.
Yeah, dude. You could tell those two hate each other. We have an interesting question coming up here. Who'll be the next coach of the Giants?
The next coach of the Giants. As a Giants fan, even though I'm rocking the Tennessee shirt for Cashville.
Does that say Tennessee tough?
It sure does. I don't know how tough that is.
I don't know how tough Tennessee is this year besides Jeffrey Simmons, but go ahead.
Yeah, as a Giants fan, I'm looking forward to seeing who they bring in. I've heard a lot of names floated around. I'm not really sure Eric, who would be your pick?
Dude, we're hearing a lot of rumors about Belichick, dude. A lot of rumors about Belichick, dude. What would you feel about Belichick and his little 24-year-old princess coming up to New York?
I don't know. Like, respect to obviously one of the goats of the game, like a brilliant football mind, but I just feel like it's time to pack it up. Time to pack it up. I don't know how good that would be in the
I
year
mean, like,
2025.
honestly, if I'm doing it right now, the majority of the times, what a team does is if they have an offensive coach, then they go to a defensive coach. Okay.
Right.
So you just had an offensive coach, look to a defensive coach. I really thought we were going to see some stuff from Minter. I really loved what I saw from Minter last year. This year, his defense hasn't been that good.
They've got all the pieces and still haven't figured it out yet.
You know what I mean? Do you give him a pass, though? Because they did lose their best DB, their best linebacker, and their best defensive lineman. You know what I mean? You lost your best player in each level. Do you give him a pass of that? I don't think so. I think he's still a little too young. I still think he needs to stay there a little bit. I don't think he can go. God, can you imagine the Giants hired Robert Saleh?
He's back in New York.
He's back in New York. Shepard, the guy from Detroit, he's done great with their defense this year. I think that's kind of a dark horse name that could get mentioned into it. But the name I keep thinking, because they do have Dart, is I think it's going to be Joe Brady.
Yeah, I mean Joe Brady. Also, too, I forgot his first name, but Kubiak. He's one of. Is it Clint Kubiak?
Clint Kubiak, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, he runs his own run scheme, and he may just not give it to the zone runner that averages a whole yard better than the power gap runner, and just assume we're just going to give it to the power gap runner so he can run in the offensive lineman's ass. You know, I don't know. Maybe you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Still bitter about that. But it's going to be interesting to see what direction they go into. But I think Joe Brady, with Dart, I think you kind of have to go to a little bit more of an offensive type coach. My bet, and I hate I'm doing this, but I'm going overseas. Give me the Washington Commanders +3. You guys, what do I say all the time? Gambling's about buying low and selling high. And honestly, is there a team lower than the Commanders? Probably not. That's why it's a buy low spot. Teams coming off a 22-point or more loss cover 54% of the time, 4.1% ROI. When they're underdogs, jumps to 56% against the spread, 8% ROI. Then we have the rule of 17. That's when a team that lost by 17 or more faces a team that won by 17 or more. Those underdogs cover 60% of the time with a 15% ROI. Now let's look at the Dolphins. They were 9.5 7-point underdog last week, shocked the Bills with an outright win. Teams that were 7-point underdogs or more when outright coverage is 45% against the number the following week. When they're laying 3 or more, it drops to 42. Letdown spot for Miami. Did you see the clips that are going around? They were like jumping into the laundry bins and like playing go-karts with them, just shoving them. That was their Super Bowl. This is an ultimate letdown spot. Okay. Now, when we look at it defensively, the Dolphins blitz at the 3rd highest rate in the league. Marcus Mariota has handled the blitz well this season, averaging 10.3 yards per attempt, hasn't taken a single sack against pressure, and owns the highest big-time throw rate in the league. Plus, PFF grades Washington's offensive line as the 3rd best pass blocking unit. So I think Mariota can hold up fine against the pressure. As for team quality, PFF has the Dolphins graded as the 2nd worst team in the league right now. The Commanders sit at 19th. DVOA tells a similar story. Miami 23rd, Washington 19th. So both metrics, the underdog is actually the better team. Tua hasn't been great away from home, just 46% on the road or in neutral sites. He's played 2 games at neutral sites, 0-2 against the number in those games. Miami's defense has struggled all season to contain tight ends, so I expect Zach Ertz to be heavily involved in the passing game. And a big thing happened. Dan Quinn actually announced that he's going to be taking over the defensive play calling system. White, who was the DC, he's an excellent defensive line coach. He's going to stay on, focus on the defensive linemen. Quinn's going to take over the play calling. I think that's going to give a little shot in the arm to everyone on the defensive side. Everyone's also hyping Miami as this dark horse team right now that could make a run to the playoffs with their next couple of games. I want to fade that noise. The spot, the trend, the matchup, everything points one way. Give me the Washington Commanders +3, my friend. You have a bet in this game. What do you have, my friend?
Yep, I got Commanders Dolphins under 47.5. So this is the first NFL game in Spain. It's taking place at the Santiago Bernabeu, which is where Real Madrid plays soccer. So it's the first game ever in Spain. That's a completely unique condition. None of these players have played in Spain before. And also, if you look at all international games, every single NFL international game we've had, the over, it's 28-33, meaning 46% of the time the over hits. So meaning the under hits more often than not. And already, if you think about it this year, we've had some high scoring international games like the Falcons Colts, the Chiefs Chargers. So I think we're kind of due for another underwhelming game. And also, like you said, Dan Quinn, he's taken over the defensive play calling. The Commanders haven't looked good on defense recently, but I think that can give the jolt they need. And if the Commanders are going to be winning this game or possibly covering the spread, I think this is going to be a game that's going to be slowed down a little bit, and there's not going to be too many points. I don't think Marcus Mariota and Tua in the year 2025 are going to be throwing up too many points on the board.
Now, have you ever been to Spain? I've never been to Spain, man.
I haven't. I would love to hit a Barcelona Spain game.
Yeah, I can see this be a slow down, grimy out type game, especially after what happened last week. People are going to look to the over because Washington struggled to stop Detroit, not realizing Quinn took over the play calling. Defense will look better. And, Miami, they play slow. They're going to look to run the ball. Yeah, I could see this game being like a 21-17 type game. My next one, God, I love getting grimy. Give me the Cleveland Browns, baby. +9. Pulling the trigger on them. Do I like Dylan Gabriel? Absolutely, positively not. I think he's got awful. But this is all about the Browns defense. This is the best unit on the field in this matchup. They've been dominant at home compared to the road this season. On the road, they're allowing 30 points per game, but at home, that number drops all the way down just to 13. They haven't lost a home game by more than 1 score all season. The biggest total was 4. Let's talk about the trends. Teams playing their 3rd straight road game, coming off a straight-off win, a straight-off against the spread cover, are just 35% against the number. That's in the 3rd game. That's the spot that the Ravens are in. Lamar Jackson is a road favor of 8 or more, 44% ATS when he's laying 3.5 or more. against an AFC North team. He's 40% against the number. Jackson has struggled against the Browns on the road. He's averaging just 148 yards per game. Defensively, the Browns rank 4th DVOA against the pass, 1st against the run. They run man coverage the highest rate in the league. Jackson has struggled on 3rd downs versus man, completing only 54% of his passes. 2-to-1 touchdown to INT ratio, a negative 2.85 EPA overall against man coverage. He's got a 40.7 success rate, a negative 0.04 EPA per play, and a 54% completion rate. And you ready for a shocker? You ready for this, dude? I had to double check this when I looked at it. PFF actually has the Browns graded higher than the Ravens, which is wild to me.
Wow.
More trends in divisional rematches. Underdogs 55% against the number. Divisional dogs is 7.5 or more with a winning percentage of 250 or less, cover 56% of the time. Ravens run defense hasn't been great. 23rd DVOA, 25th per PFF, allowing 123.2 yards per game on the ground. I think the Browns will be able to move the ball on the ground. Their defense will do enough to keep this one close. The numbers line up. I'm taking the Cleveland Dogs. Give me the dog pound. +9, my friend. Next one. What is the next one, dude? I'll tell you what, dude. I am so sorry.
No, you're all good. I got it.
The next one was not saved. Why don't you go ahead and start talking about it, my friend, while I type it in?
Yep. So Giants +7.5 versus the Packers. And off first glance, you might hear that and be like, Packers are a way better team. I'm taking the Packers, right? But the Packers haven't looked good. They didn't look good on Monday night. They haven't looked good recently. At one point early in the season, they did look like Super Bowl contenders, but they've struggled as of late. And if you're the Packers right now, you're looking to that Giants game. You're saying, hey, that's our get right game. And then we've got 3 games. They've got the Lions, Bears, and Vikings. They've got all 3 divisional opponents coming up after this Giants game. So it's very easy for the Packers to be overlooking this Giants team, especially with Jackson Dart in concussion protocol, and overlooking this game and thinking about those division opponents coming up next. Meanwhile, the Giants, and you probably heard that people get a slight bump whenever their coach is fired. That's a real thing. If you look over the past couple of years, before firing, teams have combined for a 27.9% straight up win rate and a 37% at the spread record. Afterwards, once they fire the coach, those marks go up to 33% straight up wins and 49% at the spread. So it's not a miracle turnaround, but it's enough to draw some betting interest because those teams have something to prove. And since 2000, underdogs of 7+ points and are 4-14 straight up, but 9-9 at the spread with a new head coach. So I think there's a lot to prove for this Giants team. Dable's gone. There's a breath of fresh air. I'm not saying he necessarily lost the locker room entirely, but there's breath of fresh air in New York. I think this is an opportunity for them to kind of step up. And then say Jameis is quarterbacking or Russ is quarterbacking, whichever guy is quarterbacking, they're playing for their job next year. They're playing for another paycheck for themselves. I think they've got something to prove, whoever's at quarterback there. I think this is a sneaky spot for the Giants to come out and do something.
I love it, my friend. I absolutely love it. This was going to be my bet if you didn't take it, dude. I'm just saying, man. This was going to be my bet if you didn't take it. All right, so my boy TC, I just jumped on, so I apologize if you already talked about it, but the Seahawks are incredible. I hope that weeks ago someone told you to bet the Seahawks. You know what? TC gave, he told me to bet him. You know what? I have a small wager on him. I followed his lead, so thank you, my friend. But I just wish your boys would give the ball to Kenneth Walker more. For the love of God, give the ball to fucking Kenneth Walker more. Seahawks are playing great. Defense is traveling well. They play better at home on the road than at home. Was a weird game though. Seemed to me, now granted the afternoon slate was kind of boring. I was kind of doing like some college basketball prep stuff while I had the games on. There's a lot of plays by the Cardinals in the second half. We spread the love. But yeah, that was kind of the thing for me. But yeah, they're playing great. They're going to be a tough out wherever they go to. And with that defense, if Sam Darnold cannot turn the ball over, I absolutely, positively love him. And the big thing, back to your bet here, now I'm really stirred on this. Who do you think the best player on the Packers is?
I would have said Josh Jacobs early in the season, but running games look pretty weak as of late. But Tucker Kraft was. Yeah.
To me, hands down, it's Mr. Jenkins, the offensive lineman, who has played everywhere they haven't played in center. He went out. He's on IR. We saw that. Oh, Micah. No, Mike. I like. You know what? Micah's pretty good, dude. Micah's pretty good, but he's not. He's a lead at rushing. Run is a little bit weaker. I think it is Etchen Jennings, their offensive lineman, who is playing center right now. He's played all over the line. He went down. When he left, they really did struggle even more moving the ball. They did get that late touchdown. If he's not there against Thibodeau, against Burns, against Lawrence, that elite defensive line that the Giants have, I think that's going to make Love's life a little bit hard. I absolutely love him. I got the Giants here as well. Totally co-sign with this. My last bet, going to Thursday night, I'm taking a player prop. Give me Mr. Cardi B, Stephon Diggs over. Actually, this is a misprint, and I apologize for that. It is 53.5 yards. You can find this one
better
on Bookmaker. So we're going to Mr. Cardi B, Stephon Diggs over 53.5 yards receiving. Jets run man coverage at the 8th highest rate in the league. Against man coverage, Stephon Diggs has been the clear go-to option for the Pats, commanding a 26.7% target share, leading the team in receiving yards versus man coverage. On the season, he has an 80% catch rate, averaging 12.5 yards per reception against man. He's also been highly efficient, posting a .82 EPA per target with a 70% success rate in against man coverage. Overall, Diggs leads New England in targets, receptions, and receiving yards this season, averaging 6.1 targets, 5 catches, and 55.4 yards per game. As for the matchup, the Jets rate 21st PFF coverage grade, 30th in defensive pass per DVOA, and 23rd DVOA against opposing wide receiver ones. We've seen top wide receiver ones the last two games. Jerry go over this total. Jerry Jeudy, 6 catches for 78 yards. Chase, 12 for 91. Given the volume, the efficiency, and the matchup, I think this is a great spot for Stephon Diggs. So I'm taking Stephon Diggs, Mr. Cardi B, over 53.5 receiving yards. Didn't Diggs just have another kid with somebody?
News to me. I don't know.
I think he did, my friend. I think he did. Yeah. Yep. Model Eileen Loper is pregnant, and Stephon Diggs has confirmed he's the father after it. Jeez, dude. Like, what does Cardi B dump him now?
Was she one of the people in that boat picture?
I mean, oh, sorry. This is from December 2024. A test confirmed he's the father of her daughter, who was born in April of 2025. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be throwing out cheating accusations.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
crazy.
Cardi B is expecting a child with Stephon Diggs, which was announced in September, and the couple's baby is expected in early 2026. So I'm sorry. Stephon Diggs, my bad, dude. My bad, Stephon. My bad. So there you have it. Let's go over our bets real quick. Sterling is on the 49ers money line. I'm on the Commanders +3. Sterling's on the Commanders and Dolphins under 47.5. I'm on the Browns +9. Sterling is on the Giants +7.5. And I'm on Mr. Cardi B, Stephon Diggs, over 53.5 receiving yards. Sterling, I'd like to thank you for coming on Those who don't know, Sterling was the first. I started doing this a couple years ago, just on a whim. Sterling was the first guest ever on this one. He has been the guy that's been on it the most, so I'd like to thank you for that. Got to know you a lot over the past couple years, become a close friend. Appreciate that, my friend. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media?
Yeah. So go find me on Instagram, SilverStar_sports. So SilverStar_sports on Instagram. Been in and out of posting. You'll see some pretty bad takes. I was pretty high on the Raiders actually earlier this year, but we're getting back into it. Loving all that I'm seeing on the football season. College basketball starting up. I've got a lot of takes there, so please follow me there, and you'll see me on the show again. And as always, thanks for having me.
What is your hottest college basketball take, dude?
Ooh, I was high on Dayton. I actually haven't watched the game.
Don't
What's
they
the score
play?
of that one?
They're playing.
They do.
They played Cincy tonight, right?
Let me check the score of that game right now. Let's high on them.
I thought they played Cincy tonight. Oh, Cincy's in the Big 12 now.
Dayton basketball. They lost by 12, but I think they're honestly is still a good team. Cincinnati's a good team, so like I don't have any shame in that loss. I think Dayton's going to be a good fly under the radar, as they are the Flyers.
I mean, my take is there is a 6'11" kid from Va Tech that is good as hell, dude.
Oh my gosh, watching his highlights the other day, he was.
I mean, this dude,
Bro ready.
whose name I can't even pronounce, is a straight baller. Va Tech's got a dude, man. So far it's good, man, dude. I'm pissed off because I took Buffalo plus the 18.5 today against DePaul. Pissed off I had to talk myself out of the money line. Pissed off. But this podcast, this stream will be transitioning to college basketball after the NFL is over. Look forward to having you on there for that. Give that man a follow. We will be back next week with King Midas Bets, aka Taylor, and we'll look into week 12. Best of luck in your bets, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
Have a good one.